Making $401 trading gold. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in. It's been a while since a trade recap has been dropped on the channel because there has not been a lot of closing of positions until today when I closed out of gold. It finally hit my target, and we're going to get into it. So it made $400. This is on a $25,000 account, and I've been trading everything not stocks in this account. Okay, so gold, think about the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, silver, oil, those types of things, which at the beginning of the month I had a couple small losses, and we finally get a nice win in this account. I had other wins in the stock account. Now we get a good win in this account. So let's dive into it. It was on the daily time frame, and it took about like a week or so for this to play out. So yeah, let's get into it. If I jump over to TradingView and I pull up gold, you'll see what I have marked out on the chart. So essentially what I was looking for this trade was on the 1 day time frame. So I had gotten in, if you were to go back about a month or so, back to, like end of August, I got in gold here and it just chopped. So like technically speaking, my original entry on gold when it broke out over here never hit my stop loss. But I was in the trade for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I'm just going to get out of this trade. And if it, and then it had established a new level, like if we break that level, I'll get in. And that's what I decided to do. And then I got in on the break of that level, and it took about a week for that to play out. So the trade technically stems from mid-August when we had this break right here. But I re-entered, or I took a break even, and then I got back in here and made the money on this trade there. So gold's been really looking a great play that if you're just kind of sitting in gold for like a big picture swing, you're doing well, just letting it do its thing until the structure breaks down. But we kind of have, a good look. So my original plan was get in on the break here, stop loss under those lows, and then take profit around 26.20, which was right where my target was. I ended up moving my stop loss up a little bit and then eventually to the breaking candle low. And then I just kind of said, okay, it's around $2,500. That sounds like a good stop to me. So I left the stop at around $2,500 as I went into the past couple of days, which I've been away from the screens, from my computer. So I just kind of let that day just do its thing. And then it finally hit the take profit today on September 20th. So that was it. Nothing crazy on this trade. Overall, though, just have, higher time frames. Go to the weekly time frames. Gold's very strong. Go to the monthly time frames. Gold's very strong. Daily time frames kind of follow suit, and so you're just playing off the bigger time frames, looking for momentum, and that's it. So it worked out nicely. Not a crazy one, but not a ton of, like once we were up, we were pretty much up the entire time. We can check in TradeZilla, the running P&L. We really weren't down on this position at all. Like I got in and it was pretty much like pushing, and then you have, I think, a weekend here, and then it kind of just like did its thing and hit our take profit. A little bit of a scare, kind of got back close to break even. That was back on the day we had the FOMC, a little bit of choppiness, and then it kind of just pushed and took off from there. I thought that could have been the potential downfall of it, but ended up holding up and doing its thing. So diving into the month, I have partials. You can see now. I was covering up the good stuff. All you saw was red. This day, the day prior, so this is the gold trade. The day prior, I had a couple of partial profits being taken on other positions, but not really full take profits. So I'm just leaving that alone. I will not recap that until we're fully out of those positions. So I'm going to leave those alone. But overall, we are up 837 for the month with open. We got 2 open trades. Our win rate is closing in back on 50%. This is great. I mean, this is what I want to see. If the rest of the month, now there's only, about a week and a day left of trading. If I was to go win, loss the rest of the month, I'd be super happy with that, to be honest with you, because this is a good win rate for the way I do things. Maybe not for you, maybe not for what you think is the best, and I don't give a fuck. But what matters to me is how I see things, and so a 47% with a 2+ average win loss is good shit. Average winner is 190 on the month, and average loser is 87. We'll see if that continues to play out over the next couple of days or the next week or so. Market's strong, man. I mean, despite the seasonality, this is not the best time of the month. Like this is the time of the year where we see weakness, generally speaking. So taking the next couple of days with a grain of salt. Like maybe, if we go up, don't expect that we have to go down. We could go up. So we'll see what happens. But you kind of are seeing, I think, a good example though of risk management. We had a span of time for about a month, where things were like, well, more than that. It was kind of on and off. This summer has been choppy. Good month, bad month, good month, bad month. That's kind of how it's felt. But we're managing the risk well, I think. And you can see in the curve. Let's just take a peek. I'm gonna while we're here. It's a Friday. I don't know what the fuck am I doing on this Friday afternoon? Nothing. Let's go to year to date. So if you go to year to date, you can kind of see that choppiness that I was talking about, right? In the P&L. Like, yeah, generally speaking, it is up and to the right, but you're gonna go through spans of time where it's gonna be like, oh man, I can't get a winner, and that was in June for me. And then I had a period really from the beginning of August all the way through the first week or two of September that I just also couldn't get a win. And then we kind of pushed things back, and now I think we're pretty much at or very close to, I think so. I mean, this is a new high, I think, in terms of our P&L. So for the year, which is cool. Nothing amazing, but it's cool. I say like we're currently on. I'm trading with 35,000 essentially on the stock side, and then 25,000 on the non-stock side. So those are the two accounts. The plan is, and I have one of them funded and stuff, but the plan is, as we fund them all and move forward, the plan is to scale up to the $200,000 account size across the stocks and the non-stocks. And, if you do the math on that, multiply it out. I mean, I think you're looking at, I don't want to say a 10x from here, but even, a 5 to 10x in that range in terms of the size of our P&Ls. You're looking at a $20,000+ year so far, which is nothing like amazing from a income job perspective, but that starts to become a lot more substantial from like an income perspective versus 3,000. So while, the criticism is like, is it worth it for this much? I think 100%, because there's unlimited scale at the end of the day, like in the grand scheme. So if you really get the system operating nicely, you dial in the psychology, you dial all these things in, you start getting some payouts, you start reaping some benefits of the work and the psychology and like the discipline that you've been building over the period of time. It makes the scaling up, I think, very easy, hopefully, and seamless. So then now all of a sudden you go from making a few bucks, a month to making like, substantial money, which then the thought for me is like, yep, you can move off the prop firms, build out your own accounts, never have to worry about them. And then I think that also could level up, less fees, less bullshit, more opportunities, more trading vehicles to a degree, a little more, after hours trading, pre-market trading when it comes to some of these stocks. So you don't have to worry about, if I'm going to swing a stock, I got to hold overnight and, who knows what could happen. And then I got to wait till the market opens to be able to get in or out. So there's that overnight risk that you wouldn't have to think about as much potentially. So I think, there's good and bad. I think that it's just a little bit of some tweaks that have to be made. Either way, I'm happy with the numbers. And, I think I've learned a lot. I think the past 3 months specifically have been an awesome learning experience from like really sitting in some of these like tougher periods, these downside periods, right? And like these there's really two, that June one and then that August, just like really sitting in there and like just completely embracing the feeling of like, I literally can't win anything, is how it felt for a period of time. And I'm doing the exact same thing that I was just doing when I was winning, right? So like that I think is a humongous piece to the puzzle, because that's how it's going to feel at times. And being used to it, like this recent August pullback, or this recent August like dry spell, if you want to say, or this red streak that I had in August, if you go back and watch the recaps, you can see what I was talking about, how I was thinking through it, like and where my psychology was. I think a lot of people, and me in the past, I don't want to compare to others. I really don't. Comparing to me in the past, that would slowly eat away. and cause me to explode and cause me to blow up, right? Cause me to just do something stupid and then boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, the account's gone. I'm red on the year and it's all blown up. But being able to be like, hey, I have felt this before multiple times. I've gone through last August. I went through June. I went through these periods where I felt like nothing was working. And what happened? We came out on the other side better for it, and we made more, and we hit a new high in terms of our curve, right? So feeling that, like embracing all that, I think has been an amazing learning experience, because the more you feel it, the more you get used to it, the more you realize what this is, how your trading will go, right? The ups and the downs, the red streaks, the green streaks, and how you have to operate and handle yourself and what you need to do to improve. Because now I can go back and say, hey, there's a couple of days where I probably could have avoided, even this month, I probably could have avoided some of the losses that I took. And had I done so, maybe we're at 3,500, maybe we're at 4,000 up, right? Because I would have saved, some money on the downside on the year, which again, when you scale that up, is now 30K, 40K when you 10X, so it becomes like, oh, okay, like here we go, and I think I'm just scratching, I really do. I think I'm scratching the surface of the potential that I have, but I think the biggest pieces of it is doing less, as you see. I mean, I don't want to jinx the month, knock on wood. I think this is actually wood. It's like bamboo or some shit. I don't know. But, less trades. Now, it is saying 19 trades, which, by the way, is still a low number, because if you go back to last month, I believe last month was more. If I go back to August, last month I had a red month, but we had 23 trades. This month, I have a trade copier copying the trades. So realistically, the 19 is more like 10. So it's copying it on 2 accounts. So it's like doubling the amount of trades. So less is more. Less is more. And August, there was a whole week I didn't trade. So actually, this is really a pretty low trading month, low volume month. And that's what I'm finding. Because what I end up doing is I end up avoiding the I think I see this versus it's right in front of my face. I see it. You know what I mean? When you take those trades that are right in front of your face, it's obvious they present to you, as everyone says, the cliche, oh, wait for the trade to come to you. Yeah, it sounds stupid and stuff, but like it is true to a degree. But when you start like looking for shit, that's when you get into trouble. That's what I tend to find. So hope that was a long, but I get into that shit because I look at it as like me talking to myself. And like, I have this massive log to refer back to for me. If I want to go back in time and say, yeah, what was I thinking? I could literally not only go back to my trading journal and go and look at what I wrote in my journal and see how the trades were going. I could go back to the video on the day. Like I have everything like timestamped and logged on the day, and then see myself talking to myself to see what I was thinking. See like, oh, was I like, cause I know me, like, was I like, down that day? Was I like emotionally like, how did I seem? What was I, giving off on the video? How was I thinking? How was I talking? That's huge to correct potentially, I don't say mistakes, but things I can improve on. So I'll link up TradeZella below like always. There's a discount code for 10% off if you're interested. TC10, I believe, saves you 10%. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.